How's it going, everybody? Rob here, back with another video, and, well, we are doing another audio podcast for NOVAKORP. This is episode 20, and I'm doing a 2.0 of a review I did a while back, considering I'm still on this whole Conjuring fix. I decided to redo my review of The Conjuring. Recently, I rewatched the film, and I wanted to kind of take a look and see if any of my thoughts had changed overall. Quite a few things I can say about this movie. For instance, first, let's mention the fact that, one, it was released on 2021. It was directed by Michael Chavez, written by David Leslie, Johnson McGoldrick, James Wan, and Chad Hayes. Which, by the way, another thing about the two that I thought was two different names is actually one guy. So David Leslie, Johnson McGoldrick, James Wan, and Chad Hayes. Which I'm going to say, just me personally, having multiple writers is already a bad sign. But anyways, starring Patrick Willis, Vera Farmiga, and Ryrie O'Connor. Hopefully I said that correctly. But anyways, so this follows another case based on the cases of Ed and Lorraine Warren, and more so focuses on a particular criminal case that happened a while back, which, as far as I can remember, did not go the way it was planned, or as it was kind of suggested in this movie. But anyways, so to kind of like give you guys a little bit of a backstory of what happened in this. So it follows a case where, in one of the cases of Ed and Lorraine Warren, a guy gets convicted claiming that he was possessed by the devil, and it goes to trial. And for the film, it more so focuses on like why he was possessed, like how did he get possessed, especially after they had just finished a job or case in the same house. So like, why did he get transferred, this and that. It was really weird. But anyways, so going further, they mainly focus on the possibility of devil worshippers being involved in this and that, till we finally get to the crescendo of the movie, where they have to face off against the Satanist, and then, the power of Christ compels you, over evil, and sure enough, everything wins, or is completed. Warrens are stronger, even though, like, almost several times after, like, the beginning, Ed nearly has, like, a heart attack throughout the movie. And periodically, we don't see much about the court case, which one of my biggest gripes with this movie, and I want to say it's mainly because of another film with the same premise, which was the possession of Emily Rose, or the exorcism of Emily Rose, I should say, to correct myself. In that particular film, it mainly was in the courtroom, going over the pros, like not pros and cons, but more so the faith and science involving the possibility of a possession. Bringing in medical specialists, trying to deduce of whether what they're saying is correct or not. Bringing in specialists involving the paranormal, which in case, again, just deciding whether to discuss whether they are right or wrong in that situation. Or the belief, kind of increasing the belief of, possible possession. we rarely, actually, if anything, they don't even, besides like just setting up the court case, there isn't really anything involved in the courts. None whatsoever. Which I would have been really, like, especially with this being based on, something that actually happened, supposedly. It would have been great to see, like, the courtroom aspect of how this could have occurred. Was it actually by some demon or whatnot? Like, did Arnie actually, like, in a sense, in his right mind or wrong mind or whatever, do these acts in a malicious way or not? Or was he compelled by some unknown force that caused him to commit a terrible act? Which, again, unfortunately, with the way that the movie goes, we don't really get that. Which I will say is one of my biggest gripes of this particular film. On the bright side, though, they don't focus on the doll, the Annabelle doll, at all. So that was great. They do, and as I mentioned before, they do like mainly focus on the possibility of Satanists being involved in this, which it's interesting to, I want to say, because they end up being introduced to a priest, or retired priest, I should say, whose house is on top of basically a vault. I mean, it's a basement, but in reality, kind of like the Warrens having their I don't want to say trophy room, but their paranormal room. This guy has documents, material, artifacts, objects that were created by the occult. And there's actually a really crazy, and I can't believe that this line came up, where Ed or Lorraine is literally like, why don't you just destroy all this stuff? And kind of like mirroring what Ed said, and you'd think they would get this too, but they literally say, the priest says something along the lines of, it's basically just kind of keep, like, with them being here, with everything being here, it's like keeping guns off the street, which, they should know that, considering, they're in the paranormal. I mean, in the event that these objects actually are as influential or dangerous as they are, would make sense, especially if, like, as it was described, that these things, if destroyed, will unleash whatever entity is in it. You'd think that, in one place would be the perfect spot for it, keeping it away from the public and not allowing people to get access to these kinds of things. So, Ed and Lorraine kind of should have known that, but apparently they didn't. But as I mentioned, towards the end, you have Arnie, who's being attacked spiritually by the entity. You have at one point Ed being attacked towards the end, where he almost kills Lorraine, and then finally, again, power of Christ compels you, and eventually they win. Love is secured. Their bond, Ed and Lorraine's bond, grow even deeper, and that's it. That's, like, literally it. As I mentioned before, I mean, overall, I feel that this was kind of a major kind of down step from what we got to experience in the previous videos, or movies, I should say. And honestly, again, it would have been great if they would have done it in a way where we actually did get to see the court case. Like, what evidence Ed and Lorraine would have brought to the table to help Arnie in his trial. That would have been perfect. Honestly, with how that whole thing with them, it would have been awesome if that was the way they went. But they didn't. So it's, I want to say, like, this movie itself, it's, I don't want to do it because I think the other two movies I gave, if I remember correctly, I gave a watch it now, or buy it. I'm going to give this a stream it. This was, it's one where it's all right. Not as great as the other two. And again, like, major, I know I keep repeating myself, but it needs to be said. There are major missteps on how they could have done this. How they could have went about going over some of the things involving the Ed and Lorraine cases. So, anyway, not much else I need to say other than, again, if you feel like it, watch it. And that's it. I got a couple more videos, or at least movies, that I still got to watch for this whole franchise. And I am so not looking forward to The Conjuring, the last one. So, anyway, for now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to end this episode here. Thank you all for watching. Truly appreciate it. If you guys can, please leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. If you guys want to follow us on social media, links are in the description down below, as well as check out our daily content and the weekly podcast. With that being said, this is Rob Novakast from Novakast and NOVAKORP signing off. Have a good one. Take care, and I will see you guys next video. Ta-ta.